Yes, people, welcome back to the channel, man. Like Cass, which is me. Anyways, there's repetitive stories, opinion pieces, and everything we've got to go through. I didn't stream yesterday, so yesterday's news is my today's news. As you can see, I'm beat up, right? I've been beat up by hay fever and allergies because something hates me in this world, and I don't know what it is, and I have to blame my dad. My dad's a big issue for why my right eye just keeps watering. I don't know about you lot. Have you lot got hay fever? Because I think I've tried everything to make sure I can bring this pollen allergy down that's defeating me, just like how Manchester United are defeating me. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, man, if I start sneezing, coughing, alhamdulillah, and all that kind of stuff, you know what I'm doing, man. And bismillah, you know what I mean? Just please allow me. Anyways, this isn't fair. Big up to everyone in the building. Make sure you smash the likes as well. It's super important. Make sure you subscribe, because subscribers obviously push to the watch backs people that might not want to go into the live. They just want to silently be the assassins in the background. But yeah, so yesterday Ben Jacobs, confirmed that Mbeumo, when it comes to Champions League football, it's not really a factor in his decision making, meaning a long-term project is more in favor of his liking. So, and also Manchester United need to act decisively, which tells me that he does want Manchester United, in my opinion, Bruno. Yeah, with the question mark, Bruno. Yeah. So over Manchester United versus Newcastle, we're going to dive into that. Big up Alice for the raid. Love as always. Can people show my cousin some love? She's got a huge channel as well on another side of just Alice. There's Alice spelled backwards, basically, football. So there's more than just Manchester United content as well. If someone can put the link in for Alice's both channels, that would be a blessing as well. I'll pin it into the comments and whatnot. We've got MAINOO to Chelsea back on. I've got all the stories here. I don't do the sharing stuff. I'd rather just tell you lot. I feel like you've already seen it. So I'm not waffling. This Garnacho 40 million debate, I've got a little something different to say than what Alice has kind of said about his price tag as well. And then yeah, this is Qatar news, which is interesting. I don't know what to believe out of that, but if you're a good businessman, I think it only makes sense if things go downhill. Depends what side you're on. Depends what side you're on. We could have had something beautiful, and you know what? I'm gonna start with this as well. PSG. Yesterday, I don't understand French fans, and you know what? I'm not gonna just pinpoint it to just French fans. It could also have been who was in the final game, PSG versus, I can't even remember at this point. Why did they not win? Inter Milan, so Italian fans. But yesterday, it was in in Paris, so I'm pretty sure it would be French fans of PSG that at that. Apparently 2 people died. That's disgusting, isn't it? Like 2 people died. We just had the Liverpool parade where multiple people got injured. Yeah. And and now they're trying to do opinion pieces to try and revive this man's whole outlook. And then all of a sudden it's just like in Paris, like I don't get it. When they get mad, they riot and burn stuff. When they're and also this doesn't include all PSG fans, because it's only the deludes, right? The hooligans. And then also here they are, nice. Let me pin that. And then now, like, you go and win and you still burn stuff. Why? Why do you burn stuff? Anyways, not the point, not what I'm here to talk about. Regardless, I just thought I'd mention it because it's important, right? To make sure we're still human and we still feel things. Is Cass Muslim? I wondered from the word. Yes, I am a Muslim. Alhamdulillah. Are you, my friend? Let me know. It doesn't matter if you're English and whatever, like myself, you could still be, religious, whatever. It's up to you what you want to be. Anything but the Z word. Yeah, you know what one I'm talking about. But yeah, it's crazy. But there's Kobe MAINOO stuff as well with Chelsea, which I want to, again, making no sense to me. But the source, I'm going to have to say something about this dude. I'm not going to lie. It's not because I don't want to hear it. It's just that every time there's a story, now I'm thinking about doing basically the reverse what I've done on Ben Jacobs. I'm gonna put a thread together about everything this man says and call him out, basically, and I want to get blocked. So I don't have to see it no more. But we'll talk about it because it's relevant. Nice one, my bro. Mauritius. My ex is half Mauritian. I've been to Mauritius. You would know about If you know about Rose Hill, yeah, love. But yeah, big up everyone in there. Big up Neymar as well. I see Neymar Ali. And Mbeumo wants Champions League, Newcastle, but that's not what was said though. That's what you want to hear, isn't it, Jabba Dabba Doo? But it would help, of course it would, because I'm going to play both stories with Newcastle and his long-term projects and Manchester United. And there's going to be some harsh truths in this, and there's going to be some not so harsh truths about the reality of Manchester United. But yeah, let's get down to business, anyways, because this is what it is. You know, the Mbeumo stuff, right? So with Ben Jacobs coming out in the United stand yesterday and got misquoted, by the way, with a few things. So that should tell you everything you kind of need to know when it does come to that channel. And it might not even, it's not directly, you know, Voldemort, but, you know, it is the other one, you know, that runs that kind of stuff. It's just the clickbait stuff. Don't get me wrong. We all do it. We need to do it. But then there's just like, okay, but that's not what he said directly. So please allow that. But yeah, for me, it's more along the lines of, let's weigh up both options. Now, if you're in Mbeumo, right, and this goes with the Luis Enrique stuff as well, with the long-term project. You know, with PSG, to be fair, they have spent a fair bit of money, even in the last 2-3 years. But they've also got rid of a lot of wages as well. On top of that, in the last 2-3 years, the biggest bulk being Messi, Neymar, and then recently Mbappe, right? So what Luis Enrique and PSG's vision with Louis Campo has done is something similar to what I feel United could do, should do, and need to do as well. And when it comes to this Bruno Fernandes stuff, a lot of these transfers are pretty much relying heavy on Bruno leaving. You know, even Athletic coming out recently, there was an article saying, you know, sensible signings for Man United if Bruno leaves. There's a name in there. There's 2 names in there that's interesting. If anyone's read it, so it's pretty much everyone that we've been linked to at the moment. But then they tried to include, of course, Taylor Harwood-Bellis. I would stay far away. But even then, I think he's got something about him as a middle centre back. I can kind of hear it. Might be the long-term successor. I wouldn't say no. And also there was no one, Gonzalo Ramos. Gonzalo Ramos, are you mad? Hey, you lot gotta laugh at me. This guy can't do it. I can't help but laugh. Gonzalo Ramos is insane. Like, that couldn't be any worse than a lot of other strikers. I'd rather get Nketiah. Do you get it? I'd rather go and get him. That's mad. Laugh at me, people. Oh God. I don't know what other striker names you know, world football wants to put up, but the last one I'm thinking of is another one that can't work out of PSG. He's not gonna. I'm sorry, he's not the mustard, is he? Khabib Harwood, who Roy Keane and his father-in-law, and he doesn't even rate him. He doesn't rate him. I haven't heard that, to be fair. I see this. I don't believe it though. Doesn't scream Pep Guardiola type signing. Big up, is it Chai or Chi? Love my guy. Love to hear it. Big up Jim the Rat Glazer. I mean, are you supporting? Oh, you're calling him the Rat. Never mind. Qatar wants to build a UCL dynasty at PSG. Well, they've been doing that though, isn't it? For the last how long? 15 odd years. Why do we keep mentioning Qatar? You know what, Storm? I will talk about that anyways. It's just, again, you know, if news goes on to the, you know, into the timeline where we fetch most of our news, right? Or maybe you might find it on other content creators, might find it on news reports on Google. It all gets put onto Twitter anyways. You have to talk about it. And, you know, it doesn't mean that I think it's going to happen. I just got to put an opinion about it and why it makes or doesn't make sense, or whether you believe it or not. You know, still got to make content. I'm not mate, but I was just curious. No, that's all good. I was always interested in seeing all religions and cultures, except for the Z word. Cheers, brother, and keep up the content. Love my guy, man. But yeah, if we dive straight into this Mbeumo stuff, right? And I'm gonna weigh up for both sides. Why would he choose Manchester United? I think he would want Manchester United. Do you know why? Because people his age, players his age, will always dream of playing for Manchester United no matter what. You know, you go back home, trust me, you've played for Manchester. It's on your CV. Now, everyone, and this is not me being, and please get involved. If you support another club, get involved and be honest as well. Everyone is allowed to start a project or start a process, something we used to mock Arsenal fans for, by the way, including myself, but we don't want phases. We don't want 6 phases. Do you get what I mean? But Everyone's allowed to do a project or start one, but Manchester United. But Manchester United. Why? We've got new sporting ownership and new sporting direction. And I know we're not probably glamorously like as rich in cash to go and do what, I don't know, the said top clubs are allowed to do at this point. But don't be warned. Like, I'm not really worried on that part, you know, as much as probably the next fan. We've got sales and a lot of pure profit sales incoming, Bruno or not Bruno, which should allow us to free up a lot of our funds to do whatever we need to do because we need the cash, right? Because cash obviously means you have to put that down so you can amortize it for the years to go and get a player. But everyone's allowed to do one, but us, we're not allowed to start. Everyone, and obviously you got to see it to believe it. But every time I look towards Manchester United opinions on Twitter, and you know, they just pop up randomly, right? You know, you look at Ineos, and I know a lot of you don't like Ineos, which is fine, but you know, they started something last year, and it's their first year into whatever we want to call it, right? And I like the signings, and they're doing what they have to do. And I know it's not ideal because we want everything to be sorted, debts and whatnot, by a rich billionaire that's going to sort that all out and buy out, you know, said Glazers and whatnot. But like, you got to understand, like, United was run that badly that there's so much going on probably beyond our comprehension. The best kind of tactic to play is probably that you are broke, because you know why you know why? And I think I'm gonna have to call the bluff a little bit. And this is why I believe it's a bluff, is because we looked at Liam Delap and his release clause. Yeah. And it's 30 million. I don't know how it's spread out in terms of, you know, funds or whatever, yada, yada, yada. But we got told we have 100 million. Yeah. And that means we must have about, in cash reserves or whatever, probably not a lot in terms of to deal with transfers. Cool. So you've gone from Cunha, where you have to do it in 3 installments, which is like 20 million up front, and they want to possibly do it where he gets the contract and start in a new financial year, aka July the 1st. But then today they're talking about Cunha's medicals, right? So stay with me. They're talking about Cunha's medical, and he's going to sign his contract, meaning, okay, that means you're going to have to pay them the money, right? Surely he's just signed. That means you owe them money, which is going to be now. So for that, now I don't know if you're allowed to push that. I'm not the business expert. Cool. Stay with me. We got 100 million, right? Cool. That's all of that is nearly done. So where does the Delap money come into it? Okay. Delap, I don't know how it would have been broken up, because if you divide that all up, right, pretty much again, you know, whether it's 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, I don't know how it works, but you're going to have to pay a certain amount. But then all of a sudden, we're going to push for Mbeumo, who is costing 50 to 60 million pounds, you know, the finest kings, the finest silver of the kings, you know, pockets and whatnot. So, or silver sterling, whatever. Where are you finding that money from? So I feel like Man United are acting broke on purpose, so they don't get, you know, like in the past where, oh, Man United tax, you come in, you know, oh, we can add another 10 million onto that. So how broke are we is the next question, you know? How are you going to make this deal if you're only allowed to spend a certain amount? You know, Cunha, Delap, that's your 100 million. That's done, right? Cool. How are you going to get the 50 to 60 million? That's why I say I don't exactly believe everything that's been told in the stories. And I think that's the only stuff that's been pushed out for the narrative. Jim has to act broke, correct? So he can go and do these sort of things. That's just my thinking. That's my logic. I don't know if you feel like I'm deluded on that part, but does that not make sense? You know, Alvaro Fernandez getting sold, not done yet. And pretty much that's all nice profits on United's part. You get what, 50% out of the 42 million. That's nice. But when you deep it, if they're amortizing that deal, I don't know if it's all up front for Real Madrid. You're only going to see a little small portion because they're going to owe you a certain amount of money, or Benfica's going to owe that certain amount of money. And trust me, Benfica are penny pinchers. You're not seeing all that money straight up. So I have no idea. Again, you can add that to the Mbeumo funds. You can add the Sancho funds if he goes to Chelsea, but that's waiting. But we need to get a move on before Newcastle do into the Mbeumo, so you can go and attract him to the club. What United can offer is the long-term project and the name, and probably the wages at that, because we still have high revenues compared to someone like Newcastle, way beyond, right? Just every day, without obviously add-ons from like Champions League campaigns and TV, blah, 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 blah. We probably get a lot more coverage than most teams. So that stuff there don't worry me. Now, if you're going to choose Man United, it would be for that. You got Cunha through the door. You'll probably say, okay, we got Cunha. We're aiming to get you through. and then you can go and get another B said player that you're going to be the star of this. You know, he's at a great age. But on a Newcastle hand as well, I feel like we can add more wages than what they could probably afford. But, you know, when you talk about long-term project, if you really deep the team that has got the long-term project, it's not your Chelseas, it's not your Manchester Cities or anything like that. It's actually Newcastle. In respect, it's actually them. We can't move too slow. I think we've moved quite fast, but I'm not gonna lie. If you really believe in Newcastle's long-term project, you believe that they're gonna keep their players like Isak and Gordon. Now, I believe top teams are gonna go in for this for Newcastle next season, and they're gonna fetch a lot of money, and all of a sudden you can find yourself having Isak and Gordon on one side of your attack, and then you can find another bunch of players the following year. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to Newcastle, you know, it does come sometimes down to size of club. But they have proven that they're not gonna, you know, they're not fussed about you're gonna pay me 70 million. No, we'll take 80. If not, we're fine. We don't care. You know, we're good. We're good. We don't have to sell. You're gonna have to pay the premiums. Teams will pay those premiums when it comes down to it. So that's the only factor I'm thinking. If Mbeumo wants United, and I do believe he wants United, who wouldn't want Manchester United? He does want Man United. Might want Newcastle as well. So yeah, with Ben Jacobs saying that, it does make a lot of sense, and it does bring a lot of reassurance that, you know, United can still attract top players. But how much of your name are you going to wait to put on the table so someone can join? I don't know. What are you lot saying, anyways? We'll keep Jaden if he takes some pay as everyone else. Wait, hold on. Who's we? So JJ, this whole time you're a Chelsea fan. How many top players have Newcastle sold since the takeover? Exactly, that's what I was saying. They never leave, but they're always making some, like, you know, new contracts. You got to big up Newcastle. That's the real definition at the moment of a long-term, somewhat successful project. At the moment, to become a top side. No, he's not. He used to be unreliable. Now he's reliable. Like, literally, a lot of his stuff he's got spot on before even David Ornstein or Fabrizio broke any news. I don't know what new links he's got, but he's definitely roughed up, you know, his old sources, and he's got new ones in. You can't even say that. Trust me, I would like to I crash it on Ben Jacobs more than probably most content creators. I don't care about doing the video with him or not. But before, you know, I had a whole thread of Ben Jacobs literally last season? Probably, I think it was last year, maybe in 2023. Every story added up. I'm not joking. 11, 12 stories. All of it was so untrue. But yeah, now let's move on from Mbeumo anyways. It's the same kind of stuff. Make sure you smash the likes, people. 411 in the building, 109 likes. Oh, I love that from you lot. Thanks. So thank you very much. And make sure you subscribe if you're new. So I appreciate everyone that's tuning in. You know, this is my new channel, you could say. 5K, 5.1, I think on 5.2 maybe. So yeah, man, love to you all, man. And also I'm looking for some let me have a little check. I'm looking for a couple more actual mods that's going to be around, you know, actual ones that are going to, you know, if I do a video, I know that that mod is going to be in my, you know, in my little circle. So if you do want to actually be one, not just for the fact of having a blue name, just actually modding. I don't like nasty people in the chat. I don't like people when people get nasty to others. I don't care about football opinion. Cuss my football opinion. Just don't be nasty in it. So yeah, man. Big up to everyone in the building. Just be nice to each other. You never know what's gonna happen tomorrow, right? So yeah. Ben is a scrub. You know what, Sonny? You've been on to me. So yeah, go on, Sonny. There we go. Bang. Priority, that's a good question, you know, Ian. You know, quickly get your questions. I'm going to talk about this MAINOO stuff because it's pissing me off. What would your priority order for transfers position-wise? Right now, because I'm not cool. I think the right 10 is more of a priority than the striker because of the fact of if you get Cunha and then Mbeumo, you can play a false 9, and all three of them, Xerxes, you can swap. All of them can swap position and interchange. Something I really loved about the way PSG play is that Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, and Doué, or even when Barcola came on the pitch, they're always interchanging positions. They never stay in one. Now, I've seen Ruben Amorim do this before, and don't say he doesn't do it because it has to be credit, because we've seen Højlund when he plays end up on the right. We've seen Garnacho up front, and then sometimes it was even Bruno on the left as well, or Xerxes when he was fit. It's just that I think like when you've got Xerxes up top, Cunha just behind, and obviously Mbeumo, they're all quite accustomed to playing in each of those positions. I really think it's really fluid. And I would love to see something adapt to that. So that's why I say I'm not really in the mud if we don't get the top striker we need, but you can't really rely on it. It just means Ruben needs to adapt to different players and then maybe a different style, because I just feel like you can even do that with Kobe in there as well. And I feel like you could do that with Ahmad in there if you need it. So I feel like there's options and good options. We'll see how the coach wants to coach properly. But Mbeumo must be the priority. And right now, from what it says in stories from yesterday, is that Man United are pushing on to go and get Mbeumo. And whilst they're doing that, they're figuring out which striker targets we're gonna go for next. This Sesko stuff is stupid, isn't it? Like even if we break that one down, how does Sesko make any sense? Let me do some of your comments as well. Mate, not being funny, but who wouldn't want Man United? Man United's in turmoil. They're skint trying to sell your best player. And anyone else they can sell to make funds. The grounds fall into bits, rip. Yeah, but you know what it is, Aaron? I've seen teams sell their best players. I've seen Chelsea sell Hazard. They go and win a Champions League. Do you know what I mean? And if it was up for new ownership, they would have pushed on. Tuchel would have stayed. Who knows what would have happened if Abramovich stayed, right? You know, I've seen Kane leave Tottenham, and even then, Tottenham invested decently. They actually, and it is Tottenham, but they still scored a massive amount of goals. Mbappe just left PSG, Messi, Neymar, and they go for a bit of a different way. And there's context to be provided in all of this as well. But they lose their best players and they go and win the Champions League and they look like a better team, right? That's why I would say, like, don't ever look at it where it's in black and white. Man United need to rip up this squad. Man United need to go and get something brand new. If you want to install a new culture, I'm sorry, but it starts with winning on the pitch and off the pitch. So I hope you understand what I'm kind of coming from. Big up Dills, man. Love to see you. The OG from day one as well. Big up Cass. I don't think we buy Gibbs. Who's Gibbs? I don't think we Gibbs buy any one of you. Oh, you don't think? But basically, I think Barca and Napoli will be in for Rashford and Garnacho. Well, there's actually quite a few things talking about Garnacho, which I will dive into as well. Priorities, big up Dan. Priorities, in my opinion, and Mbeumo, decent number 8 striker, goalkeeper. So yeah, to answer the question, I would say 10, then striker, then an 8/6, if not 2, if you can, and then goalkeeper. You know what? No, you know what? I'm going to change that. I'm sorry. 8, not 2, if you can, goalkeeper. I'm going to say this now. Striker, right then, striker, goalkeeper, and then go get me my 8/6. I swear. I forgot. The way it goes over my head sometimes that we still employ Bayindir and Anana. The only reason a Bayindir is around because he's got, and I don't mind it too much, is because he's got Aki tax. I swear they're so rubbish, man. So many scrubs. I need 2 center mids, but I need a better goalkeeper than Anana, man. Bayindir gets dunked on corners. I'm not trying to see that again. Let's say we got Anana and I see Bayindir to fill in the AFCON. I can just see it in a place where, you know, United are doing well. 6th, 5th, 4th, maybe, you know, points tally looking nice. Ahmad leaves. Mbeumo leaves. And they're like, obviously, AFCON, Mazraoui. Who's going to save you because you ain't got much of a great team as, like, obviously on paper? Anana. He's gone too, but then you got me in there. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I'm not trying to see it. Go get me that big Serb. His name's Vanya Milenkovic-Savic. You know, when that guy is bald with a beard, a.k.a. Kratos, a.k.a. flipping Hades from the underworld in Blood of Zeus, yeah? You need to go get one of those characters. They will save the day. Oh, God. Yeah, let me talk about this stuff very briefly, and I just want to debunk it because we talked about it on Saeed TV, right? This makes no sense, and I feel like this is just agents playing agents, you know, pretty much playing with their toys. Blink Man United need a striker, get the fee up, makes sense, get a move on. Now, I'm not being funny. If Man United had Champions League football, I'd believe this story a little bit, but in the same breath, 70 million release clause doesn't sound right up Manchester United street. unproven 22-year-old, I think he is, or 21-year-old, 14 Bundesliga goals. Sesko, like the profile is not sad, but the price makes no sense. And also, it's kind of clear. I think me and you will understand this. United are trying to do prem proven players first before opting with other leagues. You know, the alternative to Mbeumo is said to be Tyler Dibbling, which actually, you know what? I really like that profile. It's brave, doesn't scream goals, but it's brave. I like Tyler Dibbling. 40 million they're saying now. Their new price. It's funny, you know, today's price is not yesterday's price. One moment is 100 million. Now they're quoting him at 40 million. Wow. I like that, because if you're looking at Mastantuanos, you got to also be looking at your Tyler Dibblings as well. So don't you dare say that Fam Turkey tweet. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. I'm gonna continue talking about this. I'm gonna continue talking about Man United. I'm gonna say them. You can let me know in the comments what he said. I'm not checking it, but yeah, it makes no sense. I think it's rubbish. We're not hijacking Arsenal out of all teams as well. They've chosen their number 9. Leave them to their number 9. That's just my opinion. But moving on a little bit is, for me, is this guy is no, not even just Garnacho. It's this Garnacho stuff as well. I don't have him exactly in the title, but 40 million. Okay, I'm gonna read the source as well. Don't you dare talk to me about. All right, you know what? Let me read this Turkey stuff. Right, cool. All right, let's have a little look. What did he say? They're in club-to-club talks already, you know. He said next week. Why? Anyways, I think he's milking it. You know what? Fine, milk it. Do whatever you want to do. But yeah, come out from Ed Arams from the Guardian Sport. Garnacho is expected. This is where we got to make our minds up, right? As well on Garnacho. And let me know in the comments, what's a realistic fee and how much, and also what's a realistic fee and how much to you is Garnacho worth? You know, realistic fee could be like 40 million. But your fee in your mind says, you know what, that's not fair. I think we can fetch maybe 55 million. That's how much I think he's worth. Because if you go look at other players and other wingers that have been sold for certain prices, is 40 million enough? Do you get it? And how? So for me, when I've read this from me, it says Garnacho is expected to cost around 40 million. If United allow him to leave, with Napoli, who tried to sign him in January, thought to be early front runners. Chelsea have also been monitoring his situation. I've seen a lot more other teams in Italy linked to him as well. So it's not just that. I've seen Saudi linked to him recently. You know, I think for him, I'm going to be honest, as a Manchester United fan, in our position that we are in, I think if you go and get something about, I think 40 million I would accept. But I do believe it's too low. I think 45 million is the middle ground that you can say, you know what, just do it. You know, not a Nike advert, but, you know, just do it. Run it up. Sell him. It's time to sell him. You know, he's like, how many times he's going to disrespect the damn club, let alone the manager, let alone himself, surrounded by idiots like his brother. You know, and I don't think it's all on him. He's a kid. He's going to grow up one day. He's probably going to be a wonderful human being, I'm sure. But at this moment of time, you know, 45 million, it's like, why have Napoli not made the move yet? There's so much talk on Garnacho leaving this institution, but no one's made the move. Today, you know, we've got the 1st of June, the window's open. Don't see a Saudi club in for him because, well, the Club World Cup, I know it's Al Hilal and stuff like that. I don't see them making the move on. There's so much time. He's got his holidays coming up. So, but no one's made an actual move yet. If all these clubs are rumored to be wanting him, why have they not initiated some sort of contact? Is there something off-putting about him? I wonder. But yeah, how much are you lot saying? Let me see what you're saying. Get 40 million for Nacho and add 10 million. I mean, the maths is sublime. That's what I'm thinking. You get 40 million for Nacho, you can do more and some for Mbeumo. 40 million means you can go and spend 120. Mbeumo's price for me is lovely. Run it, please. He's a father. I don't see him as a kid. Well, we can be a kid father then. Garnacho might be worth 35 million in England, but 25 million in Europe. What's this called? 50 million. 45 plus 10 in add-ons, which I believe, Lebo, would actually be Man United's asking as well. So that's what I believe as well. It's not bad, even if it's 40 plus 10. 40 to 50 million is what Sonny is saying. 45 million max, 40 to 45 million. So everyone's kind of agreeing on the same price. 40 million, big up hard work or Jard work, J hard work. 40 million worth 25 million and 5 million. You lot woke up with jokes today, innit? He's 50 million if Kilman is like 40 million. You've got a point. You've got a point. The thing is like how many English clubs that I feel like that's English pricing, and it's kind of relevant to what some of you just said as well. It's kind of relevant, you know. But West Ham, the English tax and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure Kilman is. That sounds like an Irish name, to be fair, or Scottish, but I don't know if he's English. But 40 million, that's to another English team. But abroad, I don't think they're going to pay something along the lines of like 50, 60 million. You would say Garnacho is a bigger talent than Kilman, but I don't know. I got to make sure that we got to make sure that it's more than that if it's to an English team. If Chelsea come in for 40 million, I'd say no. If Chelsea come in for this guy, we need 50 million plus 5 million in add-ons. I want the Mason money back. Or no shit, Gamer TV. Do you know what I mean? I mean, big up. You're always updating the news, but Ed Aarons, I don't know how much of a reliable source he is, but I'll keep an eye on him. Guardian's not a scrubby outlet. The Cobby news. Now, I've got a bone to pick with this one a little. For me, when news goes cold, Cobby comes up, and it's from this. It's from I'm reading it right now. You know, Chelsea are eyeing a move for Kobbie Mainoo this summer. It's from Pete Hall 86, the iPaper. You know, I think he's from he's done stuff for like Reuters, whatever they're called, in Sky Sports. I'm gonna be honest, this guy's a flipping scrub. I'll talk about it because I don't agree with it, but I do believe Chelsea would be interested in Kobbie, but it doesn't make sense for me for them to get Kobbie. They're eyeing Morgan Rogers, a little bit different in a sense of because he makes sense in terms of balance their midfield. But they got Andre Santos coming in as well. They already got Enzo, they got Caicedo, they got Cole Palmer. Where does Kobbie fit into all of this Chelsea squad? Is he going to get minutes? Of course he'd get minutes. But I don't believe Chelsea are going to want to place a mad fee out for Kobbie Mainoo. For me, if you're going to sell Kobbie Mainoo to Chelsea, you're going to best be forking up about literally about 100 million. Because if all these other youngsters are going and being quoted at madness prices, then you better fork that up. Again, makes no sense. Would Chelsea fans even want him? Is another question. I think they do. I do think they appreciate him at Chelsea, but this guy's always making up stories, a bit like us YouTubers in a sense, but we just talk on them, right? I don't claim to know much, but when I do, I pretty much get them right. So love for that. Little bit of a backdrop there. But this guy's always making up stories. And I can't lie, it's just like he's putting unnecessary pressures on someone like Kobbie, you know, young and whatnot. And it happens all the time, but I think he's such a crap journalist. I'll put it out there nice and early. Rubbish. Scrub. And now I'm going to make a screenshot of everything he says this summer because he loves doing this. Pete Hall is the new Ben Jacobs. How about that? Shit. Bollocks. Kobbie's yet to sign a new contract. It's easy story, easy clicks. I mean, don't get me wrong. Again, you got to make sure you get your clicks, get your money, however you see fit. You know, go earn your bread. But I've had enough of these scrub journalists that get nothing right. That's what I'm saying for me. Does Kobbie want to leave? That's the bigger question that Man United probably need to ask Kobbie. Do you want to leave? Because for me, the indications is that he wants to stay. I remember last time reading articles about Kobbie Mainoo and Manchester United that, you know, the contract isn't set yet, but it's gone positive. I just feel like Kobbie needs to understand his role in football at the moment. He wants a contract reflecting his importance to the side, like anyone would in life. You want to, you know, if you're working somewhere, you want to know how important you are. And you need to understand his role as well. Can't keep playing him in 8, 6, 10, whatever it is. You got to find a position for him. But he needs it. But from him, on a self perspective, just as a fan, if he ever does watch this as well, he's got to want it. You know, it's not like he's come on the pitch and played amazing football. But for me, I don't want him turning into a luxury player because I think he's a great footballer, and the way it's going, I don't think he can't get about the pitch. I think he can. I just think there could be more effort. But with United, it's been in such a mess, such a crusty mess. It doesn't matter what kind of player you put into, let's say you just get one player and put into the midfield. It doesn't change a whole lot. It needs to be a team collective, including the manager. That's why I feel like Dorgu's not as rubbish as people make him out to be. He hasn't impressed, but he's come from another league, and we shouldn't be relying on a 19-year-old to get us through the end line, anyways. But 180 million is ridiculous. 180k per week for me is ridiculous. He's cost Man United nothing. I think 150, 140. I think if you're going to commit to Manchester United for the next 5+1, and you're going to say I'm going to give you 150, I don't think that's mad. I don't think it's mental, but you got to look at his counterparts. Ahmad's on like 100 or 95. Euro's on 115. He's going to want something, and Man United's going to want to put him on something similar. That's the logic for me. I don't know what you lot would pay him. How much would you put Kobbie on for the contract? But at the same time, I don't think it's all about money with Kobbie. It's got to be about how his development's going to go. Because right now, he's regressing. A good footballer like Kobbie should not be regressing. We need to be doing more. That's why selling someone like Bruno Fernandes, whether you like it or not, sorry if you like him, but this is just my opinion, it's got to be that sacrifice. 100 million, you can build a great team and a great squad, pretty much, in the first year of selling him at least. And you can place Kobbie in, and he's got a striker to work with. He's got a wing back that he can play with. He's got a 10 that can definitely help him out. He doesn't have to pass to Garnacho and he doesn't get it back. And behind him, he doesn't get flipping hospital through balls, but sounds like a luxury player at the moment. And that's unfortunate. I'm sorry, but it's unfortunate. We should be building around someone like Kobbie, though. I think he's that good. The issue giving him 150k a week is if you sell him in free season, limits the amount club's going to sign because of the wage. I don't think it's that bad, to be fair. I feel like an England international, FA Cup winner and all, I think he could demand something similar. He's going to want more at our club. But man, you know what it is, Dan? For me, I've never remembered Manchester United ever being a selling club, ever, right? Some older heads you may know from back in the day, but I don't look at buying a player and say, okay, if he doesn't work out, how much can we sell him for? I think it's going to be pure profit either way, and he can take whatever wages either way, if that's ever the case. In 3-4 years' time, I don't expect Manchester United to think, oh, we're going to get this guy, but he's not going to be worth so much in, I don't know, whatever that you need to sell him for. I don't care about that. If you're winning, you don't care how much player's going to go for as much. I just don't see it. I just don't care about it. But I don't want to be in the same position in case we are there. Yeah, 150k is nothing in football today. Have you not noticed this? How the new 250, yeah, in top wages is the one where you're like, oh, he's getting paid quite a lot. Then it turned into 300. 300 becomes somewhat the norm. The amount that Premier League clubs get is mental. And then now it's got to 200 again. What Rooney got put on about 13 years ago at Manchester United. And he says, oh, he's at the top of his game. He's earning that. 200k, that's for me. And then obviously Cunha's on his 200 allegedly, right? And he's like, yeah, cool, 200. What is that really? That's the top of what clubs want to be playing. Their top players that can demand that. One of the best in the league. 150 is nothing. Obviously, you want to get the wage bill down, and we have to pocket watch because United are in a bit of a pickle. But 150 is what is that these days? For footballers, anyways. But I don't see it as a madness. I don't care about what the selling on fee is or how much you can sell him if he don't work out. I just want to win. 150 is light. You can even get that abroad. With the talent of someone like Kobbie, you can get abroad. I don't even want to be thinking like that. Yeah, that's where you get rid of the 300s. Don't get me wrong. And you give it to the correct players that deserve it, that have won you stuff. Not just giving it to any said Tom, Dick and Harry like Jadon Sancho, 250. What? 250 plus whatever. Nah, the only one that can command that are winners. We don't have winners. I haven't seen what Beck said about Garnacho and Ahmad. I think I saw I see one quote about Beckham not liking how the Manchester United players have represented themselves in Malaysia or abroad compared to how they used to do it. Something along them lines. Yeah, but Nath, I don't think he's average. I think he's a good player. I just think he's a part of a crap setup. You can't rely on these 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds to do you service. You know, with Kobe, comparing his minutes to someone like Garnacho is night and day. Garnacho's had way more minutes to develop and do what he needs to do than someone like Kobe. He's been used like a bit part player at the moment. But if he's looking for like 180k, I'm sorry, or 200k, he can get moved on in it. I think there's a lot of talent in United's academy that's willing to take a step up and take that position. So respectfully love. This Qatar stuff. It come from Sam Wallace in the Telegraph as well. He said, despite their withdrawal with the bid pro, and I'm going to put this down to an opinion piece. I don't believe he's got sources until I see someone like who's like Ben Jacobs, who's got good Saudi sources, or somebody else. Then yeah, sure. But despite their withdrawal from the bidding process in October 23, the indication for Qatar is that Sheikh Jassim and those around him have not abandoned the hope of owning Man United. They still believe that one day the opportunity may present itself, and nothing that has happened since the deal between the Glazers and Ratcliffe has diminished that. So allegedly, Qatar are... What the hell is that? Get out of it, man. Qatar are still in for Manchester United, but again, I don't think that's an accurate... I don't think that's an accurate comment. You know, I would believe that someone over in Saudi and Qatar would be eyeing Manchester United up to go and purchase at one point. I hear it. And I think if you're a billionaire and someone like over there where you've got trillions of pounds and dollars or whatever, you're going to be finding your next best thing. But if United keep going down the way they're going down, the club's just going to be worth less and less and less. That's the reality. It's going to be worth less and less and less, and there's going to be an opportunity. That 6 billion, that £6 billion or more that the Glazers and whatnot were asking for, that will become something stupid. You know, the investment of what Ratcliffe has provided is going to go down. The stock market will go down. So the worse Man United do, the cheaper the club becomes. And then that money that he did allegedly put up that didn't get recognized was around the 4 or 5 billion mark. You're gonna have to sell, aren't you? I think it's just opportunity, but again, I don't believe it. Have you not ever noticed when the club's in a bit of a shit pickle, some down the line, Qatar's name, Sheikh Jassim's name gets brought up again all the time. It's like it's like a distraction in a sense. I would like for it to happen because I feel like getting Man United back on top again, it really does come down to a lot of the finances and what you can do. Yeah, in dollars though, they wanted more. I mean, they got a lot of the money that is split together. It's just, I feel like if Saudi's smart, in my opinion, if Saudi is smart, because I feel like Ratcliffe doesn't have, I don't know if he's got like first refusals or anything like that. But if for me, sorry, not Saudi, if Qatar is smart, they go buy the Glazers out now for their asking price. I feel like for their asking price and what percentage they got left, then maybe there's an opportunity there. But I don't see it. Ange Postecoglou got sacked. Where? I don't see nothing about him. Let me see this. I mean, that's Football Insider. Footy Insider are claiming that Ange Postecoglou has been sacked. Oh, they're going to be looking at Thomas Frank, aren't they? Oh, Lord. Oh, shiver me timbers. Tottenham. Football Insider. Oh, boy. We'll see about that. What comments have you lot got? Ange sacked. I've only seen it an hour ago, though. I ain't seen anything brand new to it. Yeah, I ain't seen anything there. Who's live, though, people? Also, if you haven't liked the video at the moment, I'm 20 And 28 likes away from 200. So anyone that wants to subscribe, remember to do so. If anyone wants to do some timestamps for me, because it's impossible. trying to talk and do timestamps at the same time is mental. I want to get the timestamps up. It helps people that do watch it back. Are you live on NAF today? Yeah, you know what? You know what is? It's a bit dry at the moment. I'm not gonna cap. It's a bit dry. I might just wait till later on to do whatever. But yeah. Yeah, it looks like a war zone, doesn't it? Well, either way, who's live? I don't know who Red Devil United TV is. I don't think I'm subscribed either. Someone's gonna have to send me a link. I don't subscribe to people on my personal channel as much. Savas live? It doesn't say Savas live on my one. Are you sure he's still live? Turkish, Sava, Mina? Is Mina live? You know what? Because we got a lot of Man United fans in it. It would be nice to raid another Man United channel. Who should we bless? You said Red United TV. I feel like I know who that is. He's not live. So what are we doing there? Mina football. Should we go raid Mina? Oh, you know what? Let's go raid Mina, man. I've never raided her before. Just say Cass raid or something. Let me see if I can redirect. I should be able to. All right, cool. Oh, can't even do it. She doesn't have it on. So that's done. Red Devil United is not live. Yeah, she doesn't allow it at the moment. There's no redirect that's allowed. So I can't do it. She has to approve it. Red Devil United. If you start live now, I'll raid you right now. Send me a link to your channel. I'm pretty sure I see Red Devil United on there. I think I follow you. I swear I follow you on Instagram. Here we go. Price set, free waiting. He's got 15 minutes. I don't even know who this is. So, but anyways, I've got one criticism for you. I think your thumbnail needs to be redone because it looks like it's a bit blurry. I don't know what you saved it under, but it's not loading up properly for me. Everything else looks quite clean though. Maybe it's just my computer. It might be just my computer, you know. Cool. Let's do this then. Details. Lovely. Let's go raid this channel then, man. Let's go raid this channel. I've never seen him, so I'm gonna go check you. I'm gonna check you out. I'm gonna see what else you've been saying. Love. Let's go raid that channel.